Smith on multiple counts, including felony murder for setting fire to a vehicle outside the mother's home in 2023 after beating his girlfriend. The fire quickly spreading to the house, killing the 2 women inside as well as 8 pets. Smith receiving 2 life sentences plus 20 years. Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
This is new here at noon. The family of an Atlanta deacon who died after a confrontation with police in 2023 say that they're encouraged after a meeting this morning with Fulton County District Attorney Fonnie Willis. They want to see indictments against an Atlanta police officer and tow truck driver after Johnny Holman was tased for not signing a traffic ticket. He later died.
I truly feel in my heart that we will get an indictment. I feel in my heart that justice will be served, and I feel like my father will finally be able to rest in peace.
His daughter, Arnitra Hallman, says she wants the 2 to face murder charges. An elderly man found dead after a brush fire in Hull County. Firefighters say they found the victim's body in the woods off Claude Parks Road after the man had started a fire to burn brush on his property. A witness told investigators the flames got out of control, and when fire crews arrived, 3 acres of that property were fully involved. Forestry officials helped put out the fire. The man's cause of death still under investigation by the Hull County Sheriff's Office. New this afternoon, a death of an actor, Gene Hackman, his wife, and their dog. A search warrant now showing that they had been dead for some time, and the couple's bodies were in different rooms when deputies found them while conducting a wellness check at their home in Santa Fe. Hackman was found dead Wednesday in a mudroom. His wife was found dead in a bathroom next to a space heater. There was an open prescription bottle and pills scattered on the counter near her. According to police, authorities said today that foul play is not suspected, but they have not disclosed how the couple died and said an investigation is ongoing. This is also new here at noon. WSB's Jonathan O'Brien just now telling me that Georgia House lawmakers have unanimously voted to advance legislation to protect access to IVF. The bipartisan legislation has been a top priority for House Speaker John Burns. The measure is now going to the Senate. A move by the Justice Department clears the Cobb County Fire Department in a discrimination lawsuit.
The DOJ under then Attorney General Merrick Garland filed suits in several states, including Georgia and North Carolina, alleging discrimination among some police and fire departments. But current Attorney General Pam Bondi calls those lawsuits unjust, claiming they only served a DEI agenda. The suit claimed a standardized test given by Cobb Fire was found to be discriminatory and credit checks were unnecessary and biased against black applicants. The department had agreed to a settlement, but that settlement was rejected last month by a federal judge. Judd Hickenbotham, 95.5 WSB.
Going to the mailbox today, some changes are coming to the U.S. Postal Service as it continues with a series of plans meant to cut costs. The Postal Service saying the changes to its standards will lead to an at least $36 billion in savings over 10 years. Postal workers will be able to start their routes earlier now and travel further when delivering. They say the majority of the mail and packages that they carry will remain unchanged, but select pieces will see faster or slower service depending on the location. A new sign the economy may be softening. New jobless numbers out today, and more people are out of work than what was expected. Jim Ryan has a look.
In the week leading up to February 22nd, 242,000 claims were filed for jobless benefits. That's 22,000 more than the week before and the highest count since October. Federal employees terminated by Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency are not reflected in the weekly number, but Washington, D.C. did show a 26% jump in filings for jobless benefits.
And while we're talking about jobs and money, President Trump saying that tariffs against Mexico and Canada will be enforced starting on March 4th. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow right now is currently up 207 at 43,641. So the Dow's up almost 0.5%. NASDAQ's down almost a full percent. And the S&P is also in the red here on your lunch hour. It's time for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Alex Williams in the WSB 24-hour traffic center with a look at your roads.
Downgrading the trouble in Marietta to a travel advisory now that they got only 2 right lanes blocked. 75 southbound Delk Road exit 261, but damage is done. You're slow coming out of Kennesaw from Barrett Parkway. You can continue to use Highway 41 Cobb Parkway or the express lanes with a Peach Pass as your alternates there. Also, construction out of Woodstock into Kennesaw. This is 575 southbound Bells Ferry exit 4. That's in the right lane. And hearing from our traffic troopers saying strong smell of natural gas, and it's got Howell Mill completely shut down in both directions in northwest Atlanta between DeFore Avenue and I-75. Use Northside Drive. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
Time now for Atlanta Radio's only 5-day forecast, sponsored by Shoemate, the official heating of winter.
Increasing cloud cover today as a cold front moves through, so mostly cloudy, high 68, wind gusts as high as 25 miles per hour. The clouds will move out for tonight, temperatures dropping into the upper 30s to low 40s. Tomorrow, sunshine, cool, high 65. Saturday, Saturday, mostly sunny, morning low 47, afternoon high 70. Sunday, another cold front moving through with sunny skies, morning low 36, afternoon highs in the upper 50s, low 60s. Monday, mostly cloudy, high 58.
We'll have more news at 12:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hello and welcome. It is Eric Erickson here across the United States of America. Delighted to have you with me. The phone number, 877-973-7425. If you want to be on the program, as always, text Eric, E-R-I-C-K, to 33777. Get the live stream, the show notes, the podcast. Follow me around social media. By the way, this actually really is important housekeeping. I got to get out of the way. I'll be in Jacksonville, Florida, this weekend with Bo Snerdley, Rush Limbaugh's call screener. We'll be doing an event celebrating Rush Limbaugh's life with WOKV down in Jacksonville. There are still tickets available. You can go to WOKVradio.com. I think that's the site. Let's check it. WOKVradio.com. Nope, it's WOKV.com. Look at that. If you go to WOKV.com, there's a banner across the top. It's red, says purchase tickets here for Remembering Rush Limbaugh. I will be there on Saturday night in Jacksonville for the event with Bo Snerdley, his call screener. You can meet us both, WOKV.com. There is a wild story about Donald Trump Jr. that has surfaced. I want to deal with this quickly and dispatch it because I've gotten emails on it, and my guess is the emails are coordinated outrage machine. Donald Trump Jr. was on a podcast yesterday, and he said on this podcast that the United States should not even be allied with Ukraine. We never should have been. We should have been allies with Russia. We should have been selling Russia weapons to take out Ukraine. Why would we side with the Ukrainians when we could side with the Russians? The Democrats pushed it out. Kamala Harris's campaign team is still active as a Democratic response team. They pushed it out. They circulated it, got traction. I've gotten emails on it. It's all fake. It is AI. It is not real. It is not a real interview. If you hear people complaining about Don Jr. saying we should have been allied with the Russians, Kamala Harris's campaign team, still active, circulated it. These are the same people who pushed out edited clips of Kamala Harris to try to make her look intelligent and sound intelligent. They're pushing out digitally created fake audio of Donald Trump Jr. It's not true. He did not say it. This is the beginning of this. It's not the end of this. And people light their hair on fire very quickly over this stuff. You must be careful. As I tell you all the time, with a lot of the big Donald Trump stories, you got to wait at least 24 hours to actually figure out what the heck is going on. Like, for example, there's a big story out that Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate, his brother, have left Romania and are on a plane flying to Florida. It's all over the news. I don't know that it's true. Maybe it is true. I have some thoughts of it. Many of you are thinking, who the hell is Andrew Tate? Andrew Tate is a guy who is being prosecuted in Romania for human trafficking. He's a pornographer, human trafficker, not a good guy at all. Ron DeSantis, a short time ago, said if it's true, his prosecutors will take steps to deal with Andrew Tate, who is literally on video openly bragging about abusing women and human trafficking and stuff like that, bragging about it. I don't know that it's true, though. I have no idea, so I don't want to get worked up about it. Maybe tomorrow we'll start the show with it if it turns out to be true, but right now I don't know. Here's what I know. The media is rushing to make everything Donald Trump's fault. We are 1 month and 7 days into Donald Trump's presidency. The economy seems to be slowing down. It's all Donald Trump's fault. They're literally at the New York Times today, they're blaming Donald Trump's tariffs. Not a single tariff has been imposed. He's saying they might be next month. Not a single tariff has been imposed, and the New York Times is blaming Donald Trump imposing tariffs for slowing down the economy when no tariffs have been imposed. But there's a more ghoulish aspect to this that I want to address out of the gate today. Laken Riley, the young nursing student in Georgia, was murdered by an illegal alien tied to that Venezuelan gang. She was dragged into bushes while she was out jogging. She was murdered. That illegal alien came into the United States in 2022. The Biden administration released him. He went to New York, was in jail in New York. They released him from jail in New York. They didn't deport him. They let him go. He moved to Georgia with his brother. And he murdered this young lady. Numerous American citizens have been raped, robbed, or murdered by illegal aliens over the past 4 years. And every press outlet in the United States, save for Fox News, has excused Joe Biden. It's not his fault. He's not to blame. The sanctuary cities are not to blame. I mean, Athens, Georgia is a sanctuary city, and they've come out and said, we're not a sanctuary city. Yes, you are. You've passed all sorts of laws to make yourself a sanctuary city in all but name. It's like the Common Core people who changed Common Core to like civic scores. Like, we're not doing Common Core. You changed the name. Athens, Georgia came out and said, we're not a sanctuary city. We're a spa city, not a sanctuary. You're giving the illegal aliens massages in Athens, Georgia. You're allowing them to have happy endings and the rest of us get killed, robbed, murdered, raped by them. But it's not Joe Biden's fault, according to the media. It's not his policies. It's amazing how we're having a couple hundred illegal aliens a day show up at our southern border now, when with Joe Biden it was tens of thousands a day. Funny how that works. Trump gets no credit for the reduction. Biden got no blame for the increase. It's just random acts of violence. Who cares who let the people in the country? Not Joe Biden's fault. Chicago Midway Airport the other day, a Southwest Airlines jet was landing. It had been cleared to land. The pilot of a private jet for FlexJet, a private jet carrier, which ironically I got an email that morning, a solicitation for business from them. If you need a private air carrier, consider us. It's kind of funny, ironic timing. They're actually a very good company, but the pilot was told, don't cross the runway, and the pilot screwed up. That pilot is going to lose his job and his pilot's license for that. The pilot screwed up. When I was on CNN the other day with Aaron Burnett, it came up, oh, yeah, Donald Trump cutting the FAA. What the hell did the FAA have anything to do with it? The pilot was told, don't cross the runway. It was pilot error. In Washington, D.C., American Airlines had to abort a landing because of a jet on the runway. The jet had been told to get off the runway. The jet had not gotten off the runway. The pilot did not pay attention. It wasn't air traffic control's fault. But it was Donald Trump's fault, according to the media. It was Donald Trump's fault because of FAA cuts. Donald Trump cutting the DEI staff at the FAA. He didn't cut air traffic controllers. Ronald Reagan fired 11,000 aircraft controllers in a single day. We did not have planes colliding in America. Donald Trump has fired exactly 0 FAA air traffic controllers, and every pilot error in this country is now his fault. The helicopter pilots, the military helicopter pilots who caused the crash of the American Airlines jet in Washington, they were flying higher than they were supposed to. Air traffic control told them they needed to descend. They did not descend. Air traffic control asked them if they saw the plane coming. They said they did. They were probably looking at a different plane. It was their mistake. Everybody died because of them. But somehow it's Donald Trump's fault. Delta Airlines, I'm sorry. What is their airline that they don't like to say it's Delta Airlines? It's their air carrier flight, whatever it is. But it was a Delta flight landing in Toronto. lands, by all accounts, really hard. The plane flips over, the wing rips off, the plane slides upside down. 80 people on board, 76 passengers, 2 pilots, 2 flight attendants. Everyone survives. We should pause at the miracle and the marvelous nature of the safety of our air travel, that an airline can land at over 100 miles an hour, flip over, have its wing ripped off, and everyone survive. And it was Donald Trump's fault, according to the left. So all these illegal aliens who came into the country because of Joe Biden's policies, none of the murders, none of the robberies, none of the rapes, none of the crime is Joe Biden's problem. But a bunch of pilots screw up. And by the way, there have been less aviation incidents in Donald Trump's first month in office than there were in Joe Biden's first month in office. Did you know that? True story. But you don't know that because no one talked about those when Joe Biden was president, because none of it was Joe Biden's fault. But all of it is now Donald Trump's fault. This is why nobody believes the American Press Corps. Literally, on CNN the other night, this Southwest Airlines jet comes up, and Aaron Burnett and the other folks with me on TV are like, I don't really want the FAA cut. Can you not cut the DEI staff at the FAA? Do you know the DEI staff at the FAA is one of the reasons we have an air traffic controller shortage in this country, because they decided to prioritize non-white air traffic controllers instead of the best available air traffic controllers and slow down the hiring process. That's a fact, by the way. There's a lawsuit right now involving the FAA because of it. It's obviously not fair, and it never has been fair. It's never going to be fair. It is a double standard, but it is worth noting the ghoulishness of the opposition, that for every rapist, robber, murderer, burglar, criminal, illegal alien that came into the country for 4 years under Joe Biden, they did everything they could to circle the wagons around Biden and his policies and his administration and say, don't look here, it's not their fault. Don't look at the sanctuary cities. Don't look at the Democratic policies that have allowed these people to be here. Don't look at the broken system. Don't look at any of that. Don't look at it. Don't even look at the illegal alien, because that's racist. Clearly, the victim is to blame. But here you got some pilot screw-ups, and it becomes Donald Trump's fault, because that's all the left has right now. They're throwing everything at the wall to see what sticks. All the blame game, they're throwing it at the wall. That's why I will wait. Tomorrow we'll see how this Andrew Tate story plays out. If it is as reported to be, well, it's not a good sign for the Trump administration, and I will say as much. But I don't know, because the media continues to report things that turn out 24 hours later to not be true. They keep rushing stories out that turn out to be completely the opposite of what they report in the first 24 hours. When it comes to Donald Trump, they would rather be wrong and first than be right, because they have righteousness in being wrong as long as they are blaming the right people. As long as they can do a story that puts the blood on Donald Trump's hands, whether it deserves to be there or not, they find righteousness in the story. They find righteousness in the cause. I think we got to be better than that. I think the media continues to sunset because of their willingness to be first instead of accurate, and to be filled with righteous indignation over Donald Trump when they excuse so much with Joe Biden. But I think it's wild. I think it's wild that for 4 years, Democrats said not a single robbery, rape, or murder by an illegal alien had anything to do with Joe Biden or his policies, but 4 pilots committing errors, they're all Donald Trump's fault because he fired the DEI team at the FAA. Not a single mechanic, not a single safety inspector, not a single air traffic controller. And by the way, the shortages in ATC controllers came under the Biden administration because of their insistence on putting skin color ahead of competence. That's all his fault, but you can't blame him either. But now you can blame Donald Trump. This is why the press corps can't have nice things. They should all be put out of business.
Have something to say? Hello. Call the show. 1-877-97-ERIC. That's 1-877-973-7425.
1220 Cool Day Carrier, WSB 24-hour traffic center. Still a travel advisory out of Kennesaw into Marietta. Crash in 2 right lanes, 75 southbound, Delk Road, exit 261. Slow back toward Barrett Parkway on both 75 and 575. You can use Highway 41, Cobb Parkway. The express lanes are still pointed southbound, so use that with the Peach Pass. Still got the right lane construction, 575 southbound, Bells Ferry Road. Delays from Highway 92, Highway 5, and alternate to avoid that. And we're seeing Howell Mill is shut down with a gas leak. Howell Mill Road between Bellamede and I-75. Use Northside Drive as an alternate. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
Chris Chandler here from Atlanta's Morning News, hoping with Paws Atlanta to find a home for our WSB Dog of the Month, Goldfish. 3-year-old Pitty, displaced after the Biolab fire, loved a good belly rub when he came to visit us. Meet him at WSBRadio.com/dog. And our sponsor, Finley Roofing, will pay the adoption fees for Goldfish's new human. WSBRadio.com/dog.
Are you taking your garage door for granted? Is it squeaking and whining for attention? Overhead Door Company of Atlanta is here with same-day repair service. Experienced technicians have been servicing homeowners in Atlanta since 1935. That's 90 years. Overhead Door Company of Atlanta can handle all your garage door and opener needs. For same-day repair service, schedule online at overheaddooratlanta.com or call 404-USA-DOOR.
Belinda Skelton here for Virtual Imaging, and I have their Chief Operating Officer, Barry Petrie, here in the studio. Barry, tell us what Virtual Imaging is all about.
Thanks, Belinda. Great to be here. So we have been in business for 15 years, and what we do is we empower folks in the Atlanta area to come in and advocate for their own health and scan for things like heart disease, cancer, aneurysms, and other ailments as well.
How important is it for folks to get that heart scan?
Very important. Heart disease is the #1 killer of Americans, so that's the most important test we want to get as a baseline. Most Americans will die as a result of cardiovascular disease. So if you're going to get one test, that's the one you want to get. And that test will quickly tell you if you have any calcium or plaque in your 5 arterial pathways. The scan itself will take less than 10 minutes, and you will get your results within a day or two.
Barry, I know that virtual imaging screens for so many different things. Tell us what some of the areas of the body you screen for.
We can do anything from head to pelvis. So we can do the heart scan, we can do the head scan, we can also do what I call a core body scan. So that's looking at all those areas between your neck and your pelvis. We're looking for aneurysms, we're looking for tumors, we're looking for cancer, any of those things. So think of this as an ability to do a very wide screening area of the body.
This is Heart Health Month, so you have an offer for us.
Anyone who calls in will get a free heart scan for you and a spouse.
And that number to call is 770-678-SCAN. That's 770-678-SCAN. Go to virtualimagingatl.com.
When it comes to beautiful, they wrote the book. Siding, paint, windows, and doors gives your home a brand new look.
At Superior Pro, we use the highest quality materials and the best techniques in windows, siding, painting, doors, and more. Plus, all our projects come with an extended labor warranty. Visit SuperiorPro.com for a free in-home design consultation.
Superior Pro, the pros to know.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-2798. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-575-2798. That's 800-575-2798.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
When it's time to replace your windows, make sure you have options and get to choose the energy-efficient window that is right for your home, your style, and your budget. Dave Baker here for the only window company I recommend, Nelson Exteriors. With Nelson, you're in charge. Choose from many top-rated window manufacturers like Andersen and MI, all backed by Nelson's worry-free lifetime labor warranty. For your replacement windows, pick the company that's more picky than you. Google Nelson Exteriors.
All the news, weather, and traffic you need. 95.5 WSB.
Join Eric's army of activists and let your voice be heard. Text ARMY to 33777.
Y'all, I'm a little sad. Gene Hackman is dead, and he is hands down one of my all-time favorite actors. The initial reports were a little bit odd. Was it a suicide, something there were open pill containers found in their house? The police right now are saying they don't know, but it appears it could have been carbon monoxide. That the reports right now, and again, everything is early, but the reports are he and his wife were found in a bathroom dead. Their dog also dead. There was a heater in the bathroom that was turned on, but was not actually burning. So the speculation is possible carbon monoxide poisoning for now. For those of you who don't know, Philip, I'm talking to you, Philip. You have no idea how awesome Gene Hackman is. I one time asked Philip if Anthony Hopkins was in the second season of Westworld. Was he still going to be in the second season? And Philip says, "Is that the black guy?" Yes, and he wasn't joking, people. He had no idea who Anthony Hopkins was. Gene Hackman was in he was in the Popeye movie. I mean, you just know the Poseidon Adventure, Young Frankenstein, The French Connection, Bridge Too Far, Superman as Lex Luthor, Superman 2 as Lex Luthor, Reds, Misunderstood, Hoosiers. He was in Hunt for Red October, one of the best movies. Mississippi Burning, such a good movie. Wyatt Earp, The Quick and the Dead, Crimson Tide. I guess actually I'm thinking of Crimson Tide. Was he in Hunt for Red October? I thought he was, but I'm getting my submarine movies. Crimson Tide, great movie. Y'all, he's just what a brilliant actor. Enemy of the State. Absolute Power was another one. The Chamber, The Birdcage. And then here's what's wild. He retired. And he actually did retire. He went away. He stopped acting, moved to New Mexico, and was never seen again in Hollywood. Not that he was ever seen frequently. It's just what a brilliant actor. His wife is dead. He is dead. Their dog is dead. They think it might have been carbon monoxide poisoning. They're investigating. He leaves behind 3 children from a prior marriage. Man, the loss of a fantastic actor. Just a solid guy. You know what? It was my buddy Fred Thompson who was in Hunt for Red October. Fred Thompson was a dear friend of mine while he was alive. Gene Hackman, dead. That's sad. Now, let me tell you, no way to do a good transition, but let's talk about the Eden Pure Thunderstorm, because you buy one, you get one free this week. The BOGO's in effect. You go to EdenPureDeals.com. You put in Eric Bogo, ERICKBOGO. You can get buy one, get one free. Eden Pure Thunderstorms. They're air purifiers, so they get rid of dust, they get rid of pollen, they get rid of pet dander. They generate plasma, so as the air flows through, it kills 99.9% of bacteria and viruses, and then it generates ozone that latches onto ion particles that are odors and wipes them out. No odor can stand up to it. I've used this thing in hotel rooms. I've used this thing in rental cars. I've used this thing in my office. I use this thing at home. It just wipes out odors. My sister has one in her house. She's got one of the bigger, fancy ones that turns on and off by itself as it detects odors and stuff. EdenPureDeals.com. The discount code is Eric Bogo, ERICKBOGO. You buy one, you get one free. You buy 5, you get 5 free. That's how this works. EdenPureDeals.com. Eric Bogo is the discount code.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 12:30. Good afternoon. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This just in, and it is new. The deaths of Academy Award-winning actor Gene Hackman and his wife are now being ruled suspicious. Hackman and his wife of more than 3 decades found dead in their Santa Fe home on Wednesday afternoon. A search affidavit released today says the deaths are, quote, suspicious enough in nature to require a thorough search and investigation. No cause of death has been provided. One of the couple's dogs was also found dead, while 2 others were found healthy healthy. Hackman was 95 years old. Hackman found in one room, his wife found in another. Your weather for today, mostly cloudy, breezy. A stray shower is possible with an afternoon high of 68, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Several credit card skimmers have been found around Calhoun, and now the Gordon County Sheriff's Office is warning the public, check your bank account and look for any suspicious activity this month. Thieves use those devices to duplicate private financial information from credit and debit cards and then hack into the victim's account to steal their money. Now to Rome. Medical staff and dozens of faithful gathered today in the chapel of the Rome Hospital to attend a mass held for Pope Francis. He's hospitalized with double pneumonia. The Vatican said the 88-year-old Pope once again slept well during the night and is resting today. And now, your money. Egg prices are high and expected to go even higher. And new today, the White House is rolling out a $1 billion plan to ease the pain at the checkout counter at the grocery store. Rebecca Jarvis has more on that plan.
According to the Secretary of Agriculture, the U.S. will look to import between 70 and 100 million eggs. That is still a relatively small number compared to the nearly 8 billion eggs the U.S. produced in just the month of January. The plan's meant to address the impact of the bird flu, and it also calls for a $500 million investment in biosecurity, $400 million in financial relief for impacted farmers, and $100 million in research and development of vaccines.
And we checked earlier today, and egg prices here in Georgia ranging from just about $5 to $10 a dozen. It's 12:32.
There's a new optimism in the air, and we think investors like you might have the best year ever. Hello, I'm Brant Frost, founder of First Liberty Building and Loan. Last year, we opened up our First Liberty Notes program to Main Street investors just like you, and the response has been just incredible. Everyday folks from all walks of life have enjoyed 8 to 13% interest rates while helping to fuel the growth of small businesses right here at home. If you're a qualified investor and have a minimum of $25,000, you too could be earning 8 to 13% interest rates. We'd love to have you join our First Liberty family today. We believe this is going to be a special year and a great year. We've got the projects. Now we need partners like you. Go to FirstLibertyGA.com and see if our First Liberty notes are right for you. Go to FirstLibertyGA.com. That's FirstLibertyGA.com.
First Liberty notes are not obligations of or guaranteed by any financial institution and are not secured by any collateral. They are not FDIC insured or guaranteed by any government agency. You could lose money. Purchasers must verify their SEC accredited investor status. Securities are not being offered in any jurisdiction in which it is unlawful.
Are the effects of diabetes, prostate cancer, hypertension, or high cholesterol robbing you of your ability to perform in the bedroom? Choice Men's Health can help you eliminate ED and get your bedroom performance back in just one visit. Choice Men's Health offers breakthrough treatments for ED and performance issues in the bedroom to help you regain your confidence and give you back the intimacy with your partner. Call Choice Men's Health right now to make an appointment and find out how you can eliminate ED on the first visit. Popular name brand pills like Viagra and Cialis don't work for everyone and can have serious side effects. Choice Men's Health custom medications work immediately, even if you have a medical history or think you're too old to perform like you used to. Choice Men's Health can help you have a fulfilling sex life again. Call Choice Men's Health today at 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170. Once again, that's 404-400-1170.
Multiple contractors and estimates for your home projects? What a hassle. Instead, trust the Plus. Painting Plus.
Hi, I'm Charlie, owner of Painting Plus and the Plus family of businesses. We're reliable, fully licensed, and insured. No muss, no fuss. Trust the Plus and leave everything on your list to us.
If your home's exterior has it, the Plus can improve it. Painting Plus. Siding, gutters, windows, decks, porches, roofing, and more. Trust the Plus. PaintingPlus.com.
All right, Alex Williams, how are we doing on the roads?
Still watching the travel advisory in Marietta. Crash cleanup, still 2 right lanes. 75 South, Delk Road, exit 261. Highway 41, Cobb Parkway, a good alternate there. In northwest Atlanta, a gas leak has shut down Howell Mill Road, just south of I-75 near DeFore Avenue. With that shut down, you can use Northside Drive as an alternate. In downtown, a few brake lights connect your northbound University Avenue into Midtown. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Mostly cloudy and breezy today, high 68. Wind gusts as high as 25 miles per hour.
More news at 1 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
You're listening to The Erick Erickson Show.
Okay, welcome back. It's Eric Erickson here. The phone number, 877-973-7425. Yeah, I do have to do a little bit of a name drop, and I'm sorry, it is shameless. But a buddy who listens to the show, I've gotten to know him. He's a listener. He texted me, and he says, Fred Thompson, really? You knew him? Y'all know who Fred Thompson was, the senator from Tennessee. He was also, he was the submarine chief, I think, or the aircraft carrier chief in Hunt for Red October. He was in The Line of Fire. He was in just an amazing number of movies, and he was the district attorney in Law and Order for over a decade. Yeah, Fred and Jerry Thompson were good friends of mine, and I miss that guy all the time. Only person I've ever gone out on the campaign trail for to campaign for president. He ran for president in 2008. Didn't make it past South Carolina, but that dude was he was a wonderful human, a dear friend. And used to actually let me fill in for him on the radio. He had a national radio show, and I would guest host for Fred. But yeah, so anyway, I gotta play you this audio. This is Marty Baron, who used to be the editor of the Washington Post. Now, I mentioned this yesterday. I didn't expect to continue talking about the story today. But Jeff Bezos yesterday, the editor of the owner, not the editor, the owner, the man who pays the bills, Jeff Bezos, sent a letter on social media. He said, hey, team, our editorial page is going to be for free markets and free people. Personal liberties and free markets. I'm an American. America stands for personal liberties and free people. If you don't like it, you can go elsewhere. But that's what I want my editorial page values to represent. Now, when I worked for Fox, Roger Ailes hired me. In fact, my hiring from Roger Ailes, so, Rush and I were good friends. And Rush wanted me to go to CNN before I went to Fox. And Rush Limbaugh, his advice to me, I'll never forget it, was if you go to Fox News right now as a young guy, you're going to be singing to the choir, and everyone's going to love you. It's going to be like you're a preacher at a mega church in Dallas. Everyone's going to give you amens. But if you go to CNN, 9 out of 10 things are going to be trying to kill you like you're a missionary in some jungle in Africa. So go to CNN, learn how to survive, and then go to Fox. So I was at CNN for 3 years. I moved to Fox. And when I went up to visit Roger, outside his door was the reception area on the 4th floor. And there was a big poster, and it just says News Corp values. And what were the News Corp values? Free people, free markets, and free speech. 6 words. Free people, free markets, free speech. Quintessentially American values. And you know what? The National Press Corps is having an unmitigated meltdown. This is Marty Baron, the former editor.
Free expression, it's right there in the First Amendment. And news organizations have always honored free expression by having a variety of points of view on their opinion pages. But Bezos now is just shutting that down. And he's saying that only his point of view is going to be represented on those pages. And that really is a betrayal of the heritage of the Washington Post, and I think a betrayal of the very idea of free expression. And it actually it can contrast to how news organizations honored free expression with a variety of points of view. It actually dishonors free expression, which is the most fundamental personal liberty of American citizens.
Now, if you want an example of where this heads, there was an exchange on CNN last night about this as well with Jeff Jarvis. He is a professor at Stony Brook University, and Jeff Jarvis is a journalism professor who actually supports censorship. And he had this exchange with the future senator of Kentucky, Scott Jennings.
Well, I'm interested in a couple of the comments you made. You said it was destroying the newspaper because they failed to endorse Kamala Harris. I mean, what does that say about a newspaper that you have to endorse a certain political party and for it?
That's not the way it happened. What happened was that the editorial board had an editorial done and ready, and that was the process.
Right.
And then suddenly to say, oh, now we're not going to endorse. They've endorsed other things since. It was the process by which it went under there. And there's other things going on. Constantly in the paper, I now use the hashtags Broken Times and Broken Post. The headlines in both papers, I think, are constantly off, constantly trying to soft pedal what's going on. Yes. You're not going to like what I'm saying next, but we are in the middle of a totalitarian fascist coup in this country. Yes. And when we don't call it that, when we soft pedal it, when we don't have a real discussion about it. At least here, I could say those words. We can have that discussion. But you will not see those words in the New York Times or the Washington Post.
So, Jeff, if we were being honest, there should be a breaking news banner on CNN and MSNBC all day long. Yes. We are in dictatorship.
We are in dictatorship. Really. These people, these are the people in the press. That was Torre, by the way. The African-American commentator, black commentator who was even too radical, I think, for MSNBC. We're in the midst of a totalitarian fascist coup. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, do you know how I know we're not in the midst of a totalitarian fascist coup? Do you know there's actually a really easy way to find out if we're in the midst of a totalitarian fascist coup? Was Jeff Jarvis gunned down after he left the CNN studio last night? Because, in a totalitarian fascist coup, he would have been shot when he left the studio for daring to stand against the man in the White House. But he gets to go on CNN and say this. The very idea that we're in the midst of a totalitarian fascist coup when you can go on CNN and scream about it in that level of insanity, and the fact that they believe it. This guy is a journalism professor who believes we're in the midst of a totalitarian fascist coup. He believes it. They're insane, these people are. They are insane, and they're mad at the Washington Post for not being down with their insanity. They're mad at the Washington Post for not reflecting their insanity. It's absolute insanity from these people. So listen to this exchange again, and I try not to play this show anymore because I don't like to promote this Abby Phillips show on CNN. I think it is degrading to our minds and to CNN to have it. But Scott Jennings put this up, and it's worth replaying. And his tweet to start it is, I spend most of my time repeating back to liberals their own words and ideas only to have them deny ever saying them. It's astonishing. Listen.
Can we be real for a moment that DOGE is not about cutting money, right? It's not about spending. It's about shrinking government so that it'll be too small to stop Trump with whatever else is in this plan.
Why would the government stop Trump? Isn't he the head of the government? You're saying the government would be too small to stop Trump. If Trump's the president, why would the government, the bureaucracy, be actively trying to stop him?
Because he is shredding the Constitution and creating an authoritarian dictatorship. That's why.
And no matter who was in office, I'm going to hold them accountable. But more importantly, I'm going to make sure the government is working for the American people.
Both of you all made an interesting point, which is that your view is that Trump is shredding the Constitution. I'd like to hear more about that. But that it seems to me that you all both believe that the unelected part of our government, the bureaucracy, has a responsibility to resist the political leadership. Is that your view?
That's not actually
That's
what
not
we
at
said.
all
We
what I
said they are
said.
upholding the Constitution, the principles of the Constitution, and at times
How
we
is
have
Trump
seen,
shredding the Constitution?
My God, he's like.
I mean, seriously, do we have to give you a civics lesson that we have?
I don't know.
We put all power in the executive
How is
branch.
holding the
The legislative branch, the FBI. Now we're in control of the military. We're silencing media. This is what you do in a dictatorship.
Are you suggesting that the president is not the commander-in-chief of the military?
I'm suggesting that the president is going to put in charge somebody who is going to contravene the Constitution. And at some near point, this conversation will look very silly for you because it will be obvious. And right now, you're gaslighting. But when we get to the actual rubber of the road of this, it will be clear.
I'm interested in this conversation. He's going to put someone in charge who will contravene the Constitution. Like who? What do you mean by that? The president is in charge of the military, is he not? You said he's going to put someone in charge of the military?
The president is in charge of the military. That is how it works.
He was elected president. We, according to the Constitution, vest all executive authority in a president. And the concept that the military should be an independent agency or that the bureaucracy should resist the political leadership of this government is extraordinarily dangerous.
That's what we said. That's a straw man.
That's what they said. Well, we're not actually saying that. We're not actually saying, yes, that's exactly what you were saying. You don't want to own the words. You want to say it and then not have to own it. And that's the same thing with the left and the outrage over Jeff Bezos and the Washington Post. He owns the newspaper. You do not have to work there. But if you're going to work there, guess what? He wants you to support free markets and free people, not because they're his values, but because they're the country's values. And guess what that means? It means you're going to have voices challenging Donald Trump on tariffs because tariffs disrupt a free market. So you will be challenging Donald Trump. You're just not going to be calling Donald Trump a fascist dictator from the pages of a newspaper that has a free press despite a fascist dictator, which means you do not have a fascist dictator. Progressivism is a mental health issue. These people are insane. They're defensive and they're contradictory. They step on their own toes. They have no logic. They have just emotion. Emotion is all they have, and they're hoping that's all you have. So, for example, while we've been here on CNN, they've been covering the sad story of USAID workers. They were let go. They were let go. They were given 15 minutes to get their stuff and leave. They were given 15 minutes. Do you know, in a lot of radio stations in this country, when the HR comes in to do the mass layoffs, they escort you out of the building after the meeting, and then they have somebody go pack up your stuff and send it to you, or tell you to come by at a later date and get it. They got 15 minutes. God bless them for giving them 15 minutes. In a lot of companies in this country, that doesn't happen. These people do not live in the real world, and that is the fatal weakness for the left. They don't live in the real world. I sometimes think, like, for example, if the Andrew Tate stuff is true, I think it's a sign that the Trump team is listening to too many hyper-online woke right people. If it's true and they need to go touch some grass. My God, the members of the press and the left, they've got to go touch some grass. Go out in middle America. Does it feel very cooey out in middle America right now? Does it feel very cooey? And by the way, why are they holding elections? If this is a totalitarian fascist coup, why are we holding elections? Why? I mean, this is like the most incompetent totalitarian fascist coup that has ever existed. To allow Democrats to still continue to campaign for office, that's kind of insane. I want my money back. This is not the totalitarian fascist coup I thought I was getting. If these people get to go on TV and say this stuff and still get to run for office as well, I mean, my gosh, Donald Trump really is incompetent, isn't he then? Oh, my, these people have no idea. They don't live in the real world. They've lived in a sheltered bubble where they have been subsidized by wealthy people. And guess what they've done? With the privilege of being subsidized by wealthy people, they bit the hand that fed them, and the hand that fed them got tired of being bit. And now they're upset they're going to starve. They should. They are ungrateful progressives. Every time you put progressives in charge of stuff like this, they bite the hand that feeds them, and then they get mad when the hand stops feeding them. Let them starve. You go to Hillsdale College at ericforhillsdale.com. Sign up with some of their great classes. They've got 40 classes. Now, I got to be honest with you. So you go to Eric, E-R-I-C-K, ericforhillsdale.com. Got to be honest with you guys. So they've been wanting me to tout a couple of classes, like the Genesis class and the Constitution 101 class, because they are good, and I've taken them, and they're good. But I think it's a disservice to you because they have so many good ones. I've started like taking additional ones. They've got some on chemistry and just basic math concepts. I'm having to catch up with my now 10th grader with his geometry, and it's useful stuff. Every one of you has a topic you're interested in, like you're passionate about, and you wish you knew more. If you go to ericforhillsdale.com, they got 40 classes on the topics you're passionate about. You find one, you take it at zero charge, and it's some of the best professors at Hillsdale College doing the video lectures. You do it at your own pace. Take your time. Yeah, take the Constitution 101 one. As a lawyer, I found it very rewarding. Take the Genesis one. As someone who's in seminary, I found it rewarding. But take the one on Aristotle. Take the one on C.S. Lewis. Take the one on the rise of the Roman Republic. Take the one on chemistry. They're all really cool. They're very, very interesting and entertaining. They're great mental stimulation. At a time we have short attention span, they hold your attention and they reward you with a lot of interesting stuff. Eric, E-R-I-C-K, ericforhillsdale.com. Go sign up. There is no charge. You will enjoy it.
Honest.
Putting your trust in me to tell you what's going on.
Transparent.
I need you to know this from the bottom of my heart.
Giving you the information without the noise.
My job isn't to tell you what you want to hear. It's to tell you the truth.
It's the Eric Erickson Show.
1250 Cool Day Carrier, WSB 24-hour traffic center, making progress in Marietta. Crash 75 southbound, Delk Road, exit 261. Now just holding a right lane, slow back to 575. I would just stick with 75 now because Highway 41 Cobb Parkway is very jammed up as an alternate. Coming out of Woodstock, 575 southbound, still got the right lane construction approaching Bells Ferry, exit 4. You're slow back to Highway 92. And in northwest Atlanta, a gas leak has Howell Mill Road shut down in both directions. Right near I-75, you cannot get off of 75 at Howell Mill, so I would consider using Northside Drive as your alternate to avoid that. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
Tune in to Atlanta's Morning News.
Thieves target a popular gaming store.
All your latest news.
And begin to exchange gunfire with state troopers.
Weather and traffic.
Crash still on the right lane, 85 northbound Hamilton Mill.
Tomorrow starting at 5.
95.5 WSB. Atlanta's breaking news station.
Hey, it's Scott Slade from My Roofer, FGA Roofing, and I'm thrilled to hear the FGA Roofing is Tim Andrews' roofer.
My FGA roofing story is very simple. We needed repairs to our roof. And I said, hey, I'm going to call Scott Slade's roofer. FGA Roofing came out, and within 15 to 20 minutes, they had everything identified that needed to be done, and they came back about a week later and knocked that out very quickly.
Quality work is what you get with FGA Roofing, whether you're going for repairs or if you're ready for your home's exterior for a real upgrade. The architectural shingles, the designer roofs, I mean, these are real envy points with your neighbors. They'll be stopping you on the street going, hey, who did that?
Hey, you know what? After the repair, one of the neighbors down the street, who I never even met before, came up and said, who did that? So when I am in the market for a new roof, I know who I'm going to call. FGA Roofing.
Absolutely. You know, designer roofs catching your eye, this is where you need to go. Slate, tile, wood shake, and for a limited time, FGA Roofing is offering $1,000 off your final quote if you mention Scott Slade or Tim Andrews.
That's awesome.
Just search FGA Roofing.
WSB Atlanta, WSBB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, with all the things we're reading, seeing, and living through these days, from rate cuts, election season, and now a new administration, now seems like a great time to make sure we have that comprehensive plan in place. You know, the one that covers all our financial bases.
There are occasions throughout the year where I feel like it's critical for people to engage their financial lives and get the information that they deserve from a financial advisory team. And this is one of those times, to be quite frank. So we ask that you call us if you have a minimum of $500,000 in your full portfolio. But we're going to do away with that minimum so that those folks can have an equal opportunity to understand what's in their portfolio as well. Now, you have to have some money, right? I can't help you to build your wealth at work, right? But I sure can help, I believe, with your 401k, IRA management. There's probably 2 or 3 things that'll surprise you that you may want to take action on. So the next 10 people that call in will work up either a portfolio x-ray, or if you feel like you need a full retirement plan, go to unleashyourmoney.com, click on portfolio x-ray, or click on full retirement plan. We think you'll be impressed enough, and we want you to become a client. There's no question about it. We believe that we are a very competent fiduciary advisory team, and we want to offer that to our listeners. Let Hoffman Financial Group actually show you how we perform, and I believe we perform at the pinnacle of this industry.
Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
All the news, weather, and traffic you need. 95.5 WSB.
He may not tell you what you want to hear, but he tells you what you need to hear. It's the Eric Erickson Show.
Greetings. Welcome. It is Eric Erickson, this hour of the program. is brought to you by First Liberty Building and Loan. Now, we got a lot of new stations. And I want to talk to the new stations. No offense, old stations. You know I love you. But you new stations. Cross, Mississippi, California, Oregon, Alaska. First Liberty Building and Loan will do business with you. If you see opportunity right now, you need $250,000 or more to grow your business, not personally, but for your business. Reach out to them, firstlibertyga.com. The Frost family, I know them. They're good people. They've been helping small businesses become big businesses since the 90s. If you're looking at franchise opportunities or you need heavy equipment loans for your business, reach out to them, firstlibertyga.com. Tell them I sent you, any one of you nationwide, firstlibertyga.com for your business. Look, one more on Hackman, just because Giancarlo Sopo is a brilliant writer, good guy, loves movies. He writes at National Review, Kevin Costner didn't hesitate when he was asked what it was like to share the screen with Gene Hackman. Gene was the best actor I ever worked with. He then drew an important distinction. While his Untouchables castmate Sean Connery was the biggest star, Hackman was the finest performer. Costner's words capture why Hackman's passing overnight at his home in New Mexico has stirred such an outpouring of love this morning, despite his not starring in a film in over 2 decades. There was no vanity, no self-indulgence, just effortless talent carried with that twinkle in his eye. He disappeared into roles, inhabiting them so fully that you forgot the actor and believed only in the man before you, a screen legend in the purest, truest sense. Whether playing cops, politicians, outlaws, coaches, or con men, he brought an honesty that made every character feel real, even when he struggled to identify with them. Popeye Doyle's dogged hunt in The French Connection, Coach Dale's quiet grit in Hoosiers, Harry Mosby's weary determination in Night Moves. None of it ever felt like acting because Hackman never coasted. He worked for it every time. Throughout his illustrious career, the Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Sciences recognized him with 5 Oscar nominations, including 2 wins. Best Actor in The French Connection and Best Supporting Actor for Unforgiven. But Hackman's greatest wasn't confined to those iconic performances. He brought depth and truth to the simplest stories. To see his brilliance, don't just watch The Conversation. Of course, you absolutely should watch The Conversation. Spend 90 minutes with him opposite Melvin Douglas in I Never Sang for My Father. A quiet, forgotten movie. It's a masterclass in restraint. He kept a healthy distance from Hollywood before retiring in 2004, settling into a quiet life in Santa Fe where he spent his days writing novels and playing golf. When he did speak, that same plain-spoken candor shined through. Reflecting on President Reagan's passing, he told Larry King, "You know, I'm a Democrat, but I also love the idea of that man. He was so committed to America, a beautiful American." The same could be said of Hackman himself. At 16, he lied to enlist in the Marine Corps. Stationed in China as part of the post-World War II occupation, he worked as a field radio operator before serving in Japan and Hawaii. Rebellious by nature, he clashed with authorities before leaving the Marines with a discipline and resilience that would benefit his career. And then he grew up in Little Havana. What a amazing actor. Do yourself a favor this weekend. Check out some of his movies. Any movie with Gene Hackman is worth watching. Check out The Firm if you've never seen it. Philip, go watch Gene Hackman movies. You'll be better off. Otherwise, I might fire you.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? Yikes. When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular and get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and that's not a short-term promo. But don't just take our word for it. Here's Jackie and Veronica, real customers.
I didn't know that I could get something for a lot less money that was actually better than who I was with before.
Anytime anybody complains about their cell phone bill, we say, you've got to check out Consumer Cellular.
Our US-based experts will get you switched and saving in about 20 minutes. Just call or click to see how much you can save today. Because when it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit ConsumerCellular.com. That's 1-888-FREEDOM or ConsumerCellular.com today. Real people paid to share their opinions in this ad. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing.
News, weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB. Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hi there, good afternoon. It is 1 o'clock. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by Nelson Exteriors. There is new information this afternoon in the death of actor Gene Hackman, his wife, and one of their dogs. A search warrant reveals the deaths are now being called suspicious. Matt Gutman has the latest.
Detective says that maintenance workers were called to they called the sheriff's department. The deputies arrived. They found a door that was ajar at the home, and then they made entry. They went in, they found a female, Betsy Arakawa, on the ground near a countertop in a bathroom. There was a space heater near her head. There was an open pill bottle with pills scattered on the countertop there. They found a dead German Shepherd dog near Arakawa. And then in a mudroom, they found Gene Hackman. It appeared he had suddenly fallen.
And they say that his sunglasses were near him, but there were other dogs that were alive on the property. Everything else was locked and secure. All right, your weather for today. Mostly cloudy, breezy. A stray rain shower is possible this afternoon with a high of 68, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. She'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast straight ahead. A disturbing story of domestic violence from Cobb County. A jury now convicting a man responsible for setting a fire that killed the mother and grandmother of his girlfriend.
32-year-old Robert Colt Smith is found guilty of 2 counts of felony murder and first-degree arson for setting a fire that killed 52-year-old Andrea Nall and 74-year-old Michelle LaCroix. Smith also found guilty of aggravated battery and aggravated assault for brutally beating Nall's daughter prior to the fire. In a statement, District Attorney Sonia Allen calls this case a tragic reminder of how domestic violence can escalate to devastating consequences. Superior Court Judge Kelly Hill sentencing Smith to 2 life sentences plus 20 years. Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
An Atlanta Deacon's family continuing to push for indictments against a now former police officer and tow truck driver after a 2023 confrontation led to the man's death.
The family of Johnny Holloman meets with Fulton County DA Fonnie Willis, seeking an update on the case.
I feel like we have some hope. I feel like we're moving in the right direction, and that again, we will see justice.
Arnitra Holloman says her dad refused to sign a traffic ticket. That's when the now former Atlanta officer tased him. Johnny Holloman was taken to the hospital where he died. The family wants murder charges for the officer and a tow truck driver who was also involved. Atlanta police later changed their traffic ticket policy. The city also reached a multi-million-dollar settlement with the family. Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
This is new at 1 o'clock. Georgia Supreme Court has a new top judge. The court unanimously selecting presiding judge Nils Peterson to become Chief Justice on April 1st. He succeeds Chief Justice Michael Boggs, who announced earlier this week he plans to step down at the end of March. It's 1:02.
When you're running a small business, every dollar counts. And there's lots of ways you could try saving money, like, say, subletting half your office to an exotic pet shop, or downsizing your fleet of catering trucks to a fleet of catering scooters. Or you could try a smarter way to save. Switch to Comcast Business Mobile. It could save you up to 70% on business wireless compared to AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile, and save you the hassle of having a parrot as your desk mate. So don't compromise your business to save money. Keep it growing with Comcast Business Mobile, an incredible value and smarter way to save. Comcast Business Mobile, powering smarter savings, powering possibilities.
Restrictions apply. Compares weighted average of providers based on optimized pricing. Comcast Business Internet required. Reduced speeds after data usage included with plan. Savings may vary.
February is Heart Health Month, and there's no better time to take care of your heart. This is Scott Slade. It's the perfect month to call Virtual Imaging and get your free heart scan to help you stay ahead of heart disease before you even know there's a problem. You've been hearing us talk about how Virtual Imaging's free heart scan can save lives. Heart disease is the leading cause of death in the United States, and any problem with your heart that you can detect early means you have a better chance of living a longer life. Call Virtual Imaging today and get your free heart scan. What are you waiting for? Call 770-678-SCAN. It's quick, painless, and you'll get a clear picture of your heart's health so you know where you stand. And it's a great way to mark Heart Health Month. Don't wait until it's too late. Call Virtual Imaging now and schedule your free heart scan with a few minimum requirements. It's quick, easy, and could save your life. I've done it. Call 770-678-SCAN. That's 770-678-SCAN. Because your heart deserves it. If not for yourself, do it for your family.
When you're injured on the job, you need more than just a workers' comp lawyer. When you need a fighter, you need us. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. For the people. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Wet spots or water streaks on your ceiling, drywall, or chimney? Your roof is leaking. Home Fix It host Dave Baker. Get a free roof analysis from my trusted experts, Finley Roofing. The roof guys. No obligation, no charge. FinleyRoofing.com. Roof.
Live team coverage of traffic and weather. Here's Alex Williams.
Much better news in Marietta. Crash cleared. 75 southbound, Delk Road, exit 261. Those delays from 575 will start to improve. Speaking of 575 southbound, right lane construction at Bells Ferry Road, exit 4. That's causing delays from Highway 92. Howell Mill Road shut down both directions with a gas leak near I-75. Use Northside Drive. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Mostly cloudy but dry today as a cold front moves through. Daytime high 68. Wind gusts as high as 25 miles per hour. Clear and cool for tonight. Lows in the upper 30s, low 40s. Tomorrow, sunshine, high 65.
WSB Storm Tracker radar is rain-free. It's partly cloudy and 68 degrees in Chamblee. Lilburn has 71 degrees. It's 67 with mostly cloudy skies in Dallas right now. We'll have more news at 1:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Greetings, conversationalists across the fruited plain. It is your host, Eric Erickson. I hope your day is going well. I hope you have blue skies where you are. It's warmed up here in the South for now. Third winter is coming back next week, if reports are to be believed. That darn groundhog and his freaking shadow. Nonetheless, I don't know why we rely on a groundhog to tell us the weather. At least it's not Lizzo. She'd always see her shadow. We got lots to talk about in this hour. The phone number is 877-973-7425. I totally waited for you to start taking a sip to say that. Totally. I was going to see if you would, spray coffee all over the control board. Okay, so we got to talk about the foreign aid trap, and this gets. I don't want to be broken record here because I know I've mentioned it a couple times, but it's all things are fresh and new today. Josh Dawsey was working for Washington Post. I think he's gone to Axios or the New York Times somewhere. He's actually a great reporter. Josh Dawsey is a great reporter. He's from South Carolina, one of those old school beat reporters, and he was on CNN. And he was talking about the cuts at USAID and how the Trump administration gave the employees 15 minutes to pack up and leave. And of course, the people see it like, oh, it's just horrible. How cruel. Y'all, I know people in the private sector, particularly in radio. They get laid off and escorted to the front door and say, we'll get somebody to box up your stuff in your office and send it to you. I got a buddy of mine was telling me that he got fired, and he said the woman fired him was so soft on firing him. He says, are you actually firing me? He says he worked for a law firm. And he said he gets called into the office and they're downsizing and they're letting him go. And she's hemming and hawing and excusing and talking about other opportunities. And he says, are you actually firing me right now? And she says, yes. And he says, it's can I at least eat my lunch before I leave? And she said, oh, yeah, well, I'll let you go eat your lunch. And then you can leave. And he says, okay. And he said he sat down with his friends to just let him know he had just lost his job, and said security came and got him in the middle of lunch at the law firm and said, you got to leave now. He wasn't even allowed to walk back to his cubicle. He didn't have an office, his cubicle, to box up his stuff. He had to leave. They boxed up his stuff and sent it to him. I know another guy who lost a job. They boxed up his stuff and told him to come get it. They didn't send it to him. They boxed up all of his stuff. He had to come, inspect the box, make sure everything that he knew that he owned was in there, and then leave. He couldn't go double check to see if they forgot something. Even the wall art was sitting there waiting for him. And we're upset. This happens all the time. It is a coordinated campaign by the media, and here's why. The Democrats have a belief that if they concede stories in the press that Donald Trump and the Republicans are cruel, it'll blow back on them. And by the way, don't dismiss that. Let me go off on a little tangent here. People are okay with cutting the funding to USAID and the foreign aid. John Roberts, Chief Justice of the United States, last night blocked a lower court that had given Donald Trump until midnight to release billions of dollars of foreign aid, and Roberts blocked it and said, no, we need to hear the case first. So Trump doesn't have to spend that money. And Americans are fine with that, and the Democrats are falling into a trap in defense of foreign aid that most people want to gut anyway. They don't understand how small it is. They don't understand the ratio, the bang for the buck, the soft power of the United States, all this. They don't care. They see it as wasteful spending, and a lot of it is. I'm a big believer in foreign aid because I've seen it with my own eyes growing up overseas, how American soft power, that is, us spending money on worthwhile projects, actually benefits the United States. But you can't really justify spending millions of dollars to teach men about circumcision in Mozambique. Someone will try, but there's really no defense of spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on a lesbian acting troupe in Burma. There's really no need for the American taxpayer to subsidize teaching job skills to LGBTQI+ youths in Serbia. There is no reason for us to teach sex workers in Thailand how to up their game and use protection. We don't need to spend money on this stuff. By the way, I'm not making up any of those things. Those are all legitimate things. I actually am kicking myself. I'm beating myself up that I did not do a USAID grant to teach kids finger puppet skills. I could have taught finger puppet skills to kids, and I could have had like a diverse array of finger puppets, a lot of non-white finger puppets. We could have done the woke song, Jesus Loves Little Children, all the children of the world, red, yellow, black, not white, they are precious in his sight. We could have changed it to Jesus Loves Their Children. We could have used pronoun diversity. We could have taught how Jesus loves all the children of the world except the white kids. Could have done finger puppets. I could have charged the government $20 million to do finger puppet art for impoverished, starving children in Ethiopia. And at the end of the day, have them eat the puppets. We could have made them out of like edible wax or something. And I mean, it would have been a nutritious program to teach them to hate Whitey, but love Jesus. And I mean, USAID, I guarantee you would have funded it. I am kicking myself. I didn't come up with that. Or a sock puppet, like a real, like, how do you take your sock? Well, we could do that now. They don't wear socks. We could have found some kid in Europe and taught him how to do sock puppets and like make YouTube videos of sock puppet art and spent a bajillion of your dollars doing it. And USAID would have funded it. You can't really justify that, but here's the problem for the right. It actually is a real problem, and it is part of the Democrat strategy. And I just want to caution all of you to not play into it. Marjorie Taylor Greene ran afoul of it the other day. Marjorie Taylor Greene essentially on camera was talking about how these federal workers, they're not really people, and they don't really deserve their paychecks. Real people have real jobs in the private sector. Now, there actually are people in government who get paid, who have real jobs. You hate the post office. I hate the post office. We actually love the lady who delivers our mail. She's super. And during the holiday season, she is delivering mail at like 8:30 at night, busting her butt to make sure the presents are delivered. She is our Santa Claus. She's a wonderful human being. Her name is Bridget, and she's fantastic. Yes, I know her name, and she's good. She works her butt off. She's older. She's doing it she's a grandmother. She takes care of her kids first thing in the morning, and then she gets in that mail truck, and she is delivering mail until 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. I don't want her to lose her job because the young guy who delivers the mail on the weekend, I mean, he basically stands in the yard and throws the packages up to the front porch. She actually drives up our driveway. this stuff matters. But I don't want you Republicans to come across as being cold, callous, and cruel, because Americans do have empathy for those who lose their jobs. We sympathize with them. We're sorry many of them lost their job. We may think they deserve to lose their job, but when you're a jerk about it, that does tend to blow back on you. Americans don't like to see you gloating over the average person losing their job. And I think you all understand that. I need it to be said that I think Marjorie Taylor Greene and I were on the same side of cutting people from government. We don't need to fund all these jobs. But don't be a jerk about it. Just say we can fund the government and use fewer people. These jobs are not indispensable. 1.1 million people get laid off in the private sector every year, and they do not get a spectacle on television devoted to them. We don't have to be cruel about it, but we can be firm about it. Cruelty and firmness are not the same thing. On the flip side, though, I think that the media continuing to highlight these federal workers, there is a way for us to respond, and it is one. Joe Biden fired people from active duty combat who would not take the COVID vaccine. They were treated as the bad guy, not Joe Biden. Barack Obama fired 40,000 active duty combat soldiers to downsize the military. Not a single one of them got on CNN to cry about their job. 1.1 million people on average every year, according to the Census Department and Labor Department, loses their job in a layoff. 1.1 million Americans every year get laid off. They don't get a fawning profile. Why are we doing this for federal employees except to try to alarm the American public? Why are we saying that federal employees keep their jobs but screw everybody else? I mean, look at the wildness of the Democratic Party position right now. The Democratic Party position is that 16-year-olds should have the ability to vote. Our reproductive and industrial policy should be determined by a scowling 18-year-old autistic anti-Semite from Sweden named Greta. But they're angry that a 19-year-old named Big Balls on the internet is trying to save them some taxpayer money. They're angry about Big Balls cutting the budget, but they want Greta Thunberg to set our industrial policy. They want 16-year-old progressives to be able to vote. That's kind of insane. It's kind of insane. But that's where the Democrats are with this stuff. And if they're going to double down on defending foreign aid, and they don't want to defend the individual items, but you can point out the individual items. That's what they're defending. And they'll say, well, we can have a more in-depth conversation about this funding. No, you don't want that conversation. You want to fund it. You're saying you want to fund it. Got to be able to turn it back on them. We really do have to be able to turn it back on them. And I think we can turn it back on them. We have the capacity to turn it back on them. Because the longer the Democrats and the press double down on treating laid-off federal employees as some class of inviolable job that can't be touched, it's going to anger the people who just lost their jobs at Jo-Ann Fabric. Why aren't their jobs untouchable and inviolable and sacrosanct? Why aren't their jobs? I gotta tell you, I think it blows back on these people pretty significantly. I also really, really do think that if Democrats continue down a road where they make the case that nothing in government can be cut, they're going to further alienate the American people who are already mad at the Democrats. This is one of the things about the media and the left in this collaborative nonsense together that they're so out of touch in their bubble they don't understand, is that Americans understand that our national debt is a national security issue. It is a national security issue. And tax cuts aren't going to save everything. Tax cuts aren't going to be there. Tax increases aren't going to save us. They can increase all the taxes they want to Jeff Bezos, and he's going to close up the Washington Post, and they're still not going to close the national debt. But if you really want to fund like $50 million for condoms in the Gaza district of Mozambique, plus circumcision lessons for men there, you Democrats try it. But notice that their angle is the sob stories of the federal employees. 900 Joann fabric stores are going out of business. All those people losing their jobs. There are no sob stories for them. During the Biden administration, numerous people got laid off across the United States in private sector jobs. No one on CNN shed a tear for those people. And I think it behooves the Republicans to not be nasty and not be cruel in their comments, but to point out what the media and the Democrats are doing is they're having sob stories for all those people. They never had a sob story for the people who were laid off during the Biden administration. They didn't even have a sob story for the Americans raped and murdered by illegal aliens during the Biden administration because they were too busy covering for the Democrats and the Biden administration at that time. And you should, at every opportunity, throw it in their face that they never did that to private sector employees, but they're treating public sector employees as if they're an untouchable class. And Americans resent like hell when anybody thinks there's an untouchable class in this country.
Those who love him, listen to find out what he's going to say next. Those who disagree with him, also listen to see what he's going to say next. It's the Erick Erickson Show.
120 Cool-Ray Carrier, WSB 24-hour traffic center. New crash down by the airport, 285 and northbound. The Interloop Camp Creek Parkway exit 2. That knocks out the right lane. Slow in the ride coming up from I-85. 575 southbound. Still got that right lane construction in Kennesaw at Bells Ferry Road, exit 4. And 75 southbound still in recovery mode through Marietta, where the earlier crash cleared right around Delk Road. Traffic brought to you by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage for a limited time. Go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
The morning rush hour.
Jam-packed bumper to bumper.
Evening rush hour. All lanes are shut down. And everything in between.
Crash still on the right lane, 85 northbound Hamilton.
Tune in 24/7 with the Triple Team Traffic Center.
Slow beginning at Piedmont Avenue, 75 South Slow.
Your source for Atlanta's traffic. Brought to you by the Cool-Ray Lifetime Parts and Labor Warranty.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
There's a new optimism in the air, and we think investors like you might have the best year ever. Hello, I'm Brant Frost, founder of First Liberty Building and Loan. Last year, we opened up our First Liberty Notes program to Main Street investors just like you, and the response has been just incredible. Everyday folks from all walks of life have enjoyed 8 to 13% interest rates while helping to fuel the growth of small businesses right here at home. If you're a qualified investor and have a minimum of $25,000, you too could be earning 8 to 13% interest rates. We'd love to have you join our First Liberty family today. We believe this is going to be a special year and a great year. We've got the projects. Now we need partners like you. Go to FirstLibertyGA.com and see if our First Liberty notes are right for you. Go to FirstLibertyGA.com. That's FirstLibertyGA.com.
First Liberty notes are not obligations of or guaranteed by any financial institution and are not secured by any collateral. They are not FDIC insured or guaranteed by any government agency. You could lose money. Purchasers must verify their SEC accredited investor status. Securities are not being offered in any jurisdiction in which it is unlawful.
Hi, I'm Martha Stewart. Every year, more than 4 million pets enter shelters here in the United States. Many of these animals are rescued from desolate conditions. My friends at American Humane have been helping animals for more than 140 years. They help ensure that pets have a safe, warm shelter during times of need, especially during natural disasters. But pets need forever homes too. Adopting a shelter pet enriches the lives of one's family and allows shelters to help more animals awaiting care. Consider adopting today and take some time to learn more about American Humane's other work, including their efforts to rescue animals in need, certify the humane treatment of farm animals, help ensure the safety of animals on the silver screen, and protect our planet's amazing endangered species at AmericanHumane.org.
Hey, it's Scott Slade from My Roofer, FGA Roofing. You know, it's not uncommon to see 25-year roofs lasting only a dozen years or so. That's why roof maintenance is so important. Taking care of the things you can't see from the ground that are robbing years of service from your roof. FGA Roofing is now offering a subscription maintenance plan that'll go a long way towards making sure your roof will last as long as it's supposed to. Not only spotting problems when they're small, but professionally cleaning your roof and gutters, securing flashing, adding new pipe collars, and more, including an inspection report so you know exactly what's up there. Most all leaks are covered under your maintenance plan, whether FGA Roofing installed your roof or not. I've paid more to get my gutters cleaned in the past. For roughly what you pay monthly for streaming, you'll be adding years of good-looking service to your roof. And when it's time for a new roof, you're in line for a $1,000 discount as a preferred FGA roofing maintenance customer. Just mention you heard about it from Scott Slade. Just search FGA Roofing to get started.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? Yikes. When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular and get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and that's not a short-term promo. But don't just take our word for it. Here's Jackie and Veronica, real customers.
I didn't know that I could get something for a lot less money that was actually better than who I was with before.
Anytime anybody complains about their cell phone bill, we say, you've got to check out Consumer Cellular.
Our US-based experts will get you switched and saving in about 20 minutes. Just call or click to see how much you can save today. Because when it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit ConsumerCellular.com. That's 1-888-FREEDOM or ConsumerCellular.com today. Real people paid to share their opinions in this ad. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing.
Your non-stop news source, 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Get Eric's daily show prep email. Text DATA to 33777 and you'll be in the know.
Welcome. It is Eric Erickson here. Y'all, I need to talk about Dingus, particular Dingus. I don't want to say her name lest she be activated. I am talking about Apple's Dingus, SIRI. You know who I'm talking about. I need you to know that I have made a lifestyle decision for Apple's Dingus. I have changed her to the black lady's voice. Not because I want to boss her around. No, that has nothing, race has nothing to do with it. Except the white woman is a sociopath on the update. The white woman is a sociopath. You say, hey, Dingus, I want to murder 500 people. And the white lady's like, you want to murder 500 people. and the black voice is like, you want to murder 500 people? It is the wildest thing. They have made the white lady's voice sound like a sociopath. The black lady's the only normal one. I don't want the gender non-binary freak voice and the white dude. So, for when my son was like 3 or 4, he asked that I put the white dude's voice on, and he asked it a question and it didn't know, and he yells up to the front of the car, Daddy, can you put that lady's voice back on? This guy's stupid. So we always keep the women's voice. But I'm telling you, the white lady voice on Apple SIRI, she is a sociopathic monster who probably has dead kids somewhere in her garage, and the black lady's like the most normal voice. It really, the inflections, everything for the black female voice are so normal. And the white woman is like, you really think this woman takes pleasure being a serial killer at night. It is, I'm telling you, try it. They've updated those voices. I am team black lady voice. And again, race has nothing to do with it. It's like, this is a woman who understands when you're being humorous and when you're not. And the white woman is always like, oh, you wish to go to the doctor for the prostate exam? Yes, please. No, I don't want that voice. No, Apple fixed this sociopath on my phone. She is genuinely an insane, crazy person. I don't understand who thought that was a good idea at Apple. And by the way, let's just admit it's also the dumbest of all the personal assistants out there. It's the one thing Apple screwed up. Now, let's talk about the economy screwing up. That's where Swiss America can help you. They're the trusted leader in precious metals and have been for 40 years in this country. And they would like to help you protect your hard-earned cash and safeguard it. They're rated A+ by the Better Business Bureau. They can educate you on protecting your assets. They have a free report, The Secret War on Cash. Takes less than 15 minutes to read. It can save your retirement and finances. Get a copy completely for free by calling or texting my name, Eric. Remember, E-R-I-C-K. Best of both worlds there, the C and the K. So call or text my name, Eric, to 800-289-2640. All out war on cash. It's growing. Read the Secret War on Cash report. By the way, they capture digital currencies in this as well, so read it. Text Eric to 800-289-2646. Follow the link. Get the report completely free. 800-289-2646. Message and data rates may apply. Let Swiss America help you.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 1:30. Good afternoon. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by Ben Hill Renovation. The deaths of Academy Award-winning actor Gene Hackman and his wife are now being ruled suspicious. Hackman and his wife of more than 3 decades were found dead in their Santa Fe home on Wednesday afternoon. A search affidavit released today says the deaths are now suspicious enough in nature to require a thorough search and investigation. No cause of deaths have been provided. One of the couple's dogs also found dead, while 2 others were found healthy. Hackman was 95 years old. Your weather for today, another great day on tap. Mostly cloudy, breezy this afternoon with a high of 68. We'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast straight ahead. Several credit card skimmers have been found around Calhoun, and now the Gordon County Sheriff's Office is warning the public, check your bank account for any suspicious activity this month. Thieves use those devices to duplicate private financial information from credit and debit cards and then hack into your bank account to take your money. This is new this afternoon. New data just now being released from the Atlanta-based CDC shows this year's flu vaccine was less effective than most years. The vaccine is usually 40 to 60% effective. This year, preliminary data shows in adults it was anywhere between 36 and 54% effective, and in children that range was 32 to 60%. Now, even though the efficacy was not as high as hoped, it did offer some protection, according to this report. It shows that those who did get the shot were less likely to have serious complications compared to those who were not vaccinated. And Frontier Airlines is expanding here at Hartsfield-Jackson. The low-cost airline expected to increase its presence by 40% in Atlanta. The expansion will also include increased staffing. Frontier already serves more than 40 destinations from Orlando and New York to Puerto Rico and Mexico, and more will be added as part of this expansion here in Atlanta. It is 1:32.
So you're losing your hair and you need a simple solution that works, but you want the best. It's Mark Aram here. Modern technology, top-rated physicians. You want something that's guaranteed to work. Guys, you need Advanced Hair. Advanced Hair's completely redefined hair restoration, from the experience itself to the unmatched results they produce. Receding hairline, bald spot, thinning hair, address them all with a simple one-day treatment in a calm, relaxed environment with experienced pros. Advanced Hair has performed tens of thousands of breakthrough advanced FUE treatments, and get this, your own natural hair begins to regrow the very next day. No one else in Atlanta can offer the advanced FUE found at Advanced Hair. Fix your hair loss today, starting with your free consultation, and you'll also get $500